my God. Wow. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, WZQR, and ZQR Talks, Rainbow Radio, Yerg's Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. What a day yesterday. And I don't have a camera on. Let's go back to something prettier than a black screen. That's why we have a checklist. Now I got dogs throwing bones all over the house. So we have a new president. We have a dictator in chief, or as I like to call him, a dickless tater in chief. And already he was sued, which is something he's used to. He committed what I think a lot of people will call treason again by releasing 1,500 terrorists. And I get that there is a constitutional authority for the president to have the power of pardon. I get that. I like that. I think it's a good thing to have. It's not a good thing to abuse. And when that's what I'm telling you, he's going for a third term. And all you people, all you asshats, who all you wanted was a tax break. And I'm not just talking about billionaires. I'm talking about the short-sighted idiots who voted for this guy. And the lazy ones who stayed home. How's that for being balanced? Hey, gang. We have a lot to talk about today. It might go a little bit longer than an hour. So bookmark these links. Yergz, YERGZ, radio.com. If you're on any of the social media or internet radio or terrestrial radio platforms that cut after only the first hour, they've got other schedules. We're not on for the full show. We don't have overflow time. You know, like Pierre Robert has his show around the same time in Philadelphia. And he does, he ends, you know, moving into the next afternoon show, kind of whenever he feels like it. It's called Pierre Standard Time. And we do that too. We can. But there are stations that we're on that are more tight with their schedule. And we respect that. So I got to say, hey, here's where I'm going to be after. I don't want you to ditch the station that you're listening to us on, but you can always go back to it. Finish the thought with us. And we got a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about. From the first casualty already, Vivek or Vivek or whatever, however it pronounces his name this week. Bad Dog, I can't see it on the screen because it's too small. But I'm going to put my email up, or one of my emails, the public one of sorts. Send me an email of the picture that is your channel's icon for Bad Dog on YouTube. Send it to the address that's on the screen, please. I got to see. It looks like my late dog. It looks like Moby. Shady, go lay down. Speaking of dog, I got a puppy who's in heat. And she wants to be on daddy's lap. Or she wants to be... Oh, there she goes. There you go. Pull toys out of your toy box. I got her this toy box because she leaves this stuff lying all over the floor, and I really don't have a place to put it. So I got her this toy box, and now she's checking things out. And good. So Vivek Ramaswamy, and I've got to read it. It's been covered for the past probably almost 18 hours by now or more. I actually didn't see it though till first thing this morning. But one of the other things that's been covered rather heavily, and rightfully so, is when Donald, I'm not going to call him the president. And after what he did yesterday, I have no reason to. This isn't about me being a libtard. This isn't about me just targeting and being anti-MAGA. This is about me being pissed off like every single 350 million plus other Americans should be right now. If you are one who wants to run around saying that this is a Christian nation and we're based on Christian values, then tell your president to put his hand on the Bible when he takes the oath of office. Like, let's see, counting that one, like 44 presidents before him have done. I guess it would be 44. These 45, whatever. 45 other presidents. Well, I mean, there's another one like him that had split. So whatever. 43 then, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Like every other president before him has done. And even one after. Bad Dog saying that's a homeless puppy. So he looks like my late tan-colored cane Corso, and it's too small. But the colors that I can see on the thing, and Moby was a great. When he passed, I did a whole episode for him. Yeah, we still miss him. Matrix and I talk about him. Of course, Matrix is sleeping. But yeah, T-Rump doesn't put his hand on the Bible to take the oath of office, then turns around and in the very same breath gives an inauguration address talking about returning Christian values and we're going to be good Christians and good this, good that, and the other thing. What? You're worried about touching a Bible because it's going to blow up? And then my favorite part of the whole day was when he tried to kiss Zorro. And he learned, maybe sometimes you don't want good boundaries and a wall built up. Go lay down. Ugh. She's underneath the desk trying to crawl up onto my lap. And she's not 15 pounds anymore. She's about probably 45. And so she doesn't even fit under the desk. And the last thing I need, what almost happened, I can take that comment down from Bad Dog. Thanks for that. What almost happened, she hit her head on the bottom of the desk, and I saw the camera jump, and I thought, okay, she's got to go. But yeah, she tries to kiss Zorro, also known as the first Flossie, who had that. Who dresses this lady? She wears a flying nun outfit to a funeral and then wears a funeral outfit to her husband's inauguration. Ex-husband, I like to say. I'm a realist. And that Zorro hat she had on. Kind of jealous. Zora was my childhood hero. I think it was the sword. I was into swords and capes. But he goes in for a kiss and can't finagle. And they just do the air kiss. Mwah, mwah. And he only got one of those. So, I don't know if you noticed it. If anybody did, I wore a red shirt because he was saying that his address and the process of the inauguration and everything, blah, 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 yada, 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 whatever, was going to be a day of unity. And then the first thing he does is become divisive and start spatting off about how horrible Biden did. And I watched, I don't know what the show is called now anymore. Is it still The Daily Show, I guess, where Jon Stewart's back? He kind of pulled like a Jay Leno and came back. He's funnier than Jay Leno. And I love that he swears anyway, even though he's on like cable television or wherever he's not supposed to. But he caught a section of the speech, and maybe it was right as Trump was actually saying something derogatory about President Biden. But the camera pans, the camera pans from Trump as he's doing that leaning. It's going to be great. He can't stand up straight and look proud. He thinks he's just having a fireside chat with the world. Nobody's listening, Donald. I was watching because it was my job. But the camera pans from Donald to President Biden, and you can see crazy Uncle Joe just raises the eyebrows, gives him the stink eye. And I loved it. I would have loved for him to get up and walk out. Oh, did you watch them dance? Yeah, I didn't last that long. As soon as that was over, Matt joined for a little bit. He didn't last too long because, as usual, Blake and I got into it, and we just kept going. It was a hockey game. We were going, and Matt just leaves. He goes, "I'm out," and goes. Probably one of the best moments of the show yesterday. Here's somebody we haven't heard from in a while. Well, you weren't paying attention, Lars. I think he made mistakes. President Biden, one of them was he alluded to, and I agree with Blake on this, he never really said it, but he alluded to not running for a third term. And then all of a sudden he is, or excuse me, second term. I'm talking about Trump. Biden alluded to not running for a second term. And then all of a sudden he's running for re-election. And you could tell that the rest of the Democratic Party was like, okay, here we go. Crazy Uncle Joe at it again. But if you think that was a bad, you don't understand. I was here. I know you're not here, Lars. And I know your situation during COVID was probably not all that great either. But I lost 6 friends because the asshat in chief called it a hoax. And then when he finally did admit that this could be serious, he suggests injecting chlorine or bleach in sunlight. Like, what? Who are you listening to? Because the actual doctors and scientists standing right behind you are going, oh, God, and rolling their eyes. So, and that's just, and then everybody says, oh, well, gas was below $2 a gallon. Yet when nobody's buying it, it's this little thing called supply and demand. When nobody's buying it, the price is going to drop. And when literally nobody is buying it, the price is going to plummet. It's not that hard. Yes, Joe Biden had to deal with inflation, but he also had to deal with a coup, a once in 100-year pandemic, a once in 100-year flood, twice in 1 month. He did not have the easiest presidency going. And now we've got an asshat in chief returning to power whose white nationalist South African buddy is getting on stage in a major arena and doing the straight arm. We got a kind of a cropped camera today. That's only going to zoom in. If I zoom out here, you can see it better. I don't know what he was doing. Like he was trying to say, oh, I'm in the moment. No, dude, you were drunk and high. But he's doing the whole heartfelt thing with his hand across the chest and then a straight wave to the crowd. Like he's throwing that heart energy to the crowd with a stiff arm. Are you watching, Blake? Because this Friday, we will be comparing the likeness of the Third Reich and the fourth one. Yeah, I know, right? Matrix has these GI issues. So Bad Dog says Mike Johnson said Biden didn't know he had cut off shipments of natural gas to Europe. Yeah, Mike Johnson's a good source of information. Lars is asking, didn't more people do that? I don't know what you're talking about. Do what? No. I that's the problem, Bad Dog. I did stop. I did try to be friendly towards this administration the first time. Bad Dog is saying, oh, stop. No, I'm not. I'm not stopping. And neither is anyone that actually values this country on any level. I'm not talking about the sheep that follow this asshat. I'm talking those of us who can think past our nose. Fascists are right. There are no true communists in the world because the leadership of those parties get so hung on the power and the authority and the autonomy, which is right. Get an A average for my political science degree. Don't argue. No, it was not an impulsive move. If that was an impulsive move, he wouldn't have turned around and done it a second time. And this is what I can't stand is these people like Lars is a day trading buddy of mine who thinks Trump is pro crypto. He's not. I was the driver of his Treasury Secretary when Stephen Mnuchin said, and I quote, "I will be the end of Bitcoin." Now, if we know Trump flip-flops, as he's done with TikTok, we know he flip-flops as he's done with, what was the other one? Oh, you know what? Oh, damn it. There we go. I forgot to go live on Instagram. We know he's flip-flopped on his thing about bringing down the price of groceries and gas. Because no sooner does he win the election, that's going to be kind of tough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off. Or whatever he mumbled. Yeah, I bet 71 million of you would have loved to have that information before November. Yeah, Ken, good point. Ken Williams says, this feels like going back to a bad ex that's abusive and expecting change. Right. I've said this 5 years ago. When he tried to run for re-election the first time. I don't know how you can say things are going to be different when this guy's had no consistency through his first administration. He's had no progress on it. And I don't mean progress as in like leftist ideology. I mean getting anything done. And he's got virtually the same Congress that he's had that Biden has had for the past 2 years, who also didn't get anything done. And now there's more of them. And you expect to keep your rights? Kamala Harris was not coming for the guns. The guy who's afraid of them is. This ain't that hard, guys. This really ain't that hard. I don't know if you caught us the other day, but our commercial breaks are going to be really quick, and we're supposed to do them more frequently than almost halfway through the first hour. So I've got to take a quick break. When we come back, we get to say goodbye to 47's first casualty. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, ZQR, and the rest of the Master Media Network. We'll be back after this. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching. Dunk tanks. Sauna. Everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off. You can scream. You can yell. And you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum. So, let me get some music here. There we go. That's good music for this one. Aroma by Peter. What are you smelling right now? Is it yourself? Is it me? It's my studio. Let me zoom back in on it. Aroma by Peter, the official soy wax candle of Mastiff Media and everything here right up the middle. Go to aromabypeter.com/yergs. Find out what he's got available. Holiday and fall collections are gone. I don't know if he's got something like citrus or something for spring or something, a fruit type of thing. I don't know. But go to aromabypeter.com/yergs. That's what we got burning here. And don't worry, those of you that are a little bit more butch, manly, or actually, God forbid, straight, he's got sense for you too. Candles, wax melts, whole deal. aromabypeter.com/yergs. If I was still in the music tab, I'd be able to pan down the music. I like that show. That's good. That comes with Restream. And so hopefully I'm getting everything that I play on Facebook and sometimes also YouTube. And a lot of them are the older ones when I was using Pink Floyd. There's a song by Pink Floyd called Keep Talking. And I use the beginning of it. And I think part of that for the end or something, I don't know. But I use the intro, the spoken intro from the late Stephen Hawking as the intro to until I came up with my own song that I actually own the rights to. Of course, somebody's going to try to get that too. So now, like a year later, I'm getting all these alerts that it's a copyright thing and somebody's coming after it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll take it down. It was a great year. Let's get caught up in the so Bad Dog wants to know, do you think pledging an oath to the Constitution of the United States is the same as an oath to the USA? It's a good question. It is a minor detail, but it is a very specific one. I think Blake, being the constitutionalist that he is, would say it is different, and it is. As is his hand not being on the Bible. He can't say that this is a free country and a Christian country. So he can say it's a free country, but he can't say that it's a Christian country or based in Christian ideology and say that he took the oath of office with his hand on the Bible when the whole world now has video of his hand not being on the Bible. And his ridiculously dressed wife standing aside of him, holding him like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. Read it. Oh, there we go. He corrected that. Yeah. Good catch. Got anything for dog farts? I'll tell you what. These candles can handle dog farts. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. I've got one in my bathroom where it's handling a little bit more than dog farts, if you know what I mean. It's not a joke. Ken liked the live commercial with music. Yeah. So we're going to do them more frequently. So there's going to be more breaks throughout the hour and 2 hour shows, but it's only going to be like 1 or 2 commercials. And if it's 2 commercials, they'll both be 30 seconds. And that's it. You're going to be back in a minute. Before you leave, we're going to be back. And that's what's going to bring a lot of good value to the live commercial that I do. Because if you notice, that was longer than 30 seconds. It was longer than a minute. That was not an accident. Though I just tell you, it's a quick minute. No, they're actually paying for more than a minute. And they're actually paying for that spot where we're coming back into the program, where you're already focusing back and getting your attention. And maybe they're not going to hear the whole thing. Another reason why it's longer. But at least they're going to hear me say aromabypeter.com/Yergs. And even if you missed that, you heard the aroma, you know it was a wax, whatever, you know where to go to my Facebook page right now until Yergs gets updated. Yergs.com gets updated. Oh, where is it? Over here. I'm just clowning around with my dashboard trying to figure out what I'm doing. There you go. Ross Yerger is my Facebook page with a list of our affiliates. BuyBlackett.com, Aroma by Peter, Capital One, Chase Bank, Frontier Internet, Rumble, Podmatch, Momentum Fitness, and DNR Studios. It's found. So Donnie, is he? We've got chat going today. You can also call if you'd like. Those of you in the States, I don't know where all of you. I know Lars is over in Europe, but those with capability to an 800 number, which is kind of stupid because everybody's calling plan is free long distance anyway. But 1-888-88 Yergs, or just continue chatting with us in the chat. I'm going to check in on Instagram again. Just continue chatting in the chat. Is it a big deal that he did not have his hand on the Bible? Does that matter to you? If you're an American citizen, if the head of government from your country did that, how would you feel if you saw that on worldwide television? And then we have, like I said earlier, our first, and it's covered all over the news, but I've got to read you this email. I get various sources of email news. Various sources of email news where they know we're using it for purposes of a show like this. And one, I got a bunch of emails now since, so I got to find it. I thought I put, there it is. There it is. The Borowitz report. Borowitz report is from, I'm going to pull this up better so I can move it around. Vivek Ramaswamy becomes first casualty in survival of the poopiest. We are on terrestrial radio where we have standards. And we got to behave. But I think if you know the phrase survival of the fittest, then you know there is survival of the poopiest. And Vivek is voted off the island, as it were. There's a bio usually here about who the Borowitz. Andy, there it is. Andy Borowitz is a journalist, has his own blog and such. Putting a damper on Monday's inauguration festivities, Vivek Ramaswamy became the first casualty in what political observers are calling survival of the poopiest, as the first passenger to be ejected from the Donald Trump's clown Cybertruck. See, I was going with the Trump train. I didn't read this far into it yet, so I'm reading this right off the cuff. And I was thinking, passenger, okay, here comes Trump train. Nope, we got a Cybertruck joke in there. Well played, sir. Well played. As the first passenger to be ejected from Donald J. Trump's clown Cybertruck, Ramaswamy was required to relinquish his parking pass, security badge, and Trump Bible. Oh, that's awesome. Speaking to reporters, Elon Musk put the best face on Ramaswamy's abrupt departure from the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, asserting, quote, DOGE's mission is to cut waste. And at the end of the day, No one was a bigger waste than Vivek. Ouch. So, the Borowitz report question of the day. Which clown will bite the dust nest? Nest. Which clown will leave the dust nest next? Which clown will bite the dust next? We already lost Gates. So he was my call for the Deadpool. And yeah, I can't. I'm seeing a comment in the chat here. I'll pull it up in a second. I want to tell you about tonight, 8:00 Eastern on Facebook. The Point with Travis Evans. I think you gave me a link for that last week. Travis, if you want to send a link into the chat again, I'll put a QR code on the screen too. But he has a good show, 2 hours from 8 to 10 tonight on Facebook. We're working on getting him, and maybe we'll do that today, Travis. Maybe we'll do that today on setting you up for being on Yerg's Radio too. Every Tuesday at 8, The Point with Travis Evans. And checking in and listening to what we got to say. Thanks for joining. Lars is saying, from my perspective, you choose left or right based on your saturation and the people you hang around with. No. People hang around me. I don't hang around them. And I do hang around other people. But not everybody is straight down the middle or straight down the middle or straight down the right or the left. I have more guns outside of my home state of Florida. Home state where I currently live. I'm from Pennsylvania. But my home state of Florida, where I'm living now, than most of my barrel-sucking, Trump-loving, gun-toting neighbors have in their bedroom closet. Unlike Donald Trump, I won't blow up when I touch a Bible because they've actually read it cover to cover. My favorite saying, I can tell a reporter what my favorite quote from the Bible is. It's John chapter 8, 32, I think. Because of this whole debacle, I just put it up. I'm going to take that off for a second. Go to that Facebook page right there, Ross Yerger, and see what the cover photo is. That is a photo of the wall in the main lobby of the headquarters of the CIA. And that quote reads, Lars, I know you're one to quote the Bible as well. Here goes. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Truth is, we have a far right-winged fascist in the Oval Office. Don't argue. I'm right. Don't bother arguing. And somebody who is out of the Oval Office, and from what the other stories that I found are saying, he's considering a run for the governor of Ohio. Is that where Ramaswamy's even from? Where does he live? And why Ohio? Dude, it's so weird. The other day, I got a long list. I actually had 3 screenshots because when people watch on Instagram, their profile automatically picks up in the chat that Travis G. Evans is signed in or watching or whatever. Ken M. Williams is watching. And so I write them on, yeah, Travis goes, India. Yeah. Well, he has some birth nationality to hear, or he wouldn't have been able to run for president. However, that's going away. That'll be another show. I don't have time. I got like 17 minutes left. That's going away. But yeah, I will put this on the screen quick. You're not going to be able to get all of it. Oh, maybe you did. I mean, it's not going to do you any good there. So I will. No, that's just to block Travis. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that either. I just want to star it. There we go. So now that's starred, I can. I can't. I'm trying to take that link, which for those of you watching, it's in the chat. But I'm trying to take the link and copy it to make a QR code. And as soon as I hover over it, show or hide, comes up, and I can't do anything with it. So yeah, back to the whole where we're all on the political spectrum. I am all over the place. As most of you know, I'm gay. And even though there are right-wing gays, which is a head scratcher, because if you actually read the Republican manifest, not their constitution, but their I just had it up on my own. I forget what the word is, but the bylaws of republicanism, gays are not welcome. And if you'd paid any attention to Donald Trump, look, I was investigated 3 times by the Secret Service. For what I was able to prove was no more than because of the fact that I'm gay. 2 of them came during the Trump administration. He creates an environment. Now, Donald Trump did not say, find that fag Yerger and get him out. He has no idea who I am, and I've been literally within arm's reach of him plenty of times during his administration. And I knew his whole family because of another assignment that I had where I worked with the First Family and other Secret Service protectees quite a bit. I was the lead agent at Reagan National Airport. And so that's where they flew out of on their charter flights, the Trump helicopters and all that stuff all the time, or commercial flights. But there's plenty about me that's also progressive, liberal. I'm not far left either. I'm not a fan. I mean, she's a lovely lady, I'm sure, but I'm not a fan of Rachel Maddow. And there's another guy who's way over there. But I am an independent, like more and more voters are becoming. And not just because we just don't agree fully with the Republican Party or don't agree fully with the Democratic Party. It's because I can think for myself. That's why I've got this job. And many of the people listening don't. And it's okay that if you're listening to hear something to get another perspective and still think for yourself, that's awesome. I do the same thing. Not everything I have is an original thought. Don't think that it is. It's called doing research. Also, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just think he needs to go back to pharmaceuticals. He did great there, and God knows we need work done there. He can still make boatloads of money. And we know that one of the needs is cheaper drugs. If he's capable of being a part of the Doge committee, and I see another comment we need to post in a second too about that. But if Ramaswamy is capable of being a part of the Doge committee, where we're working on efficiency, then he can go back to his own company, put those thoughts, ideals, put those things into play, those better practices into play at his own company, reduce his own costs so he can reduce prices, and then further take a lower percentage of profit because we know what the pharmaceutical markup is, and work with the government, Trump, or I think the 48th president is probably going to be, I think right now Gavin Newsom is appeared to be too far left, although he's not. He can be if he needs to be, like when he was the mayor of San Francisco. Of all the candidates that were running when he became the mayor of San Francisco, a liberal Democrat, because he is liberal, a liberal Democrat was the conservative candidate. Yeah. But I think he would do great. He kicked Ron DeSantis' ass. If any of you saw that debate a couple of months ago, that was a huge mistake on Ronnie Boy's part. But I think the one that actually has executive experience, mayor, although all it was, is Pete Buttigieg. And no, I don't like him because he's also gay. In fact, when I decided he was the guy I liked the most, I didn't even know he was gay. And I'm telling my boyfriend at the time this. We were sitting in Palm Springs, California, talking politics. And he goes, "Do you know he's gay?" I wasn't devastated, but I was kind of bummed out a little bit because everybody's going to think that the gay guy, me, picked the gay guy because he's the gay guy. And I just thought what he did with housing and what he did with the city of South Bend was pretty phenomenal. And it's just time to graduate to a bigger scale. Travis is suggesting Liz Cheney. Yeah, that's a Republican I could go for. And Adam Kinzinger. And even though he's admitted that he's too old, I would go for Mitt Romney. I would have been happy in 2012 with Mitt Romney. But I wanted to see Biden or Obama. Well, Biden too, actually. But I wanted to see Obama with a second term because I thought his first term with, some of the hurdles that I don't think Bush caused them all, but with some of the hurdles that Bush left him with, whether Bush or Obama liked it or not, I think he got things back on track. And I wanted to see that continue. Where are we at? Okay, so Ramaswamy's out, and that's kind of a bummer because I like just saying Ramaswamy. I think that's it. I got my windows open for some natural light. And it's also a distraction. Ken is saying now MTG is over Doge. I didn't hear that yet, but Ken's pretty reliable, so I'm going to take him up on that. I'll tell you why that is. Because the lawsuit that I mentioned at the beginning of the show is about Doge, not the crypto, but the committee. It is not a congressionally sanctioned committee, so it has no authority, and it has no power. Well, authority, power, kind of same thing. It has no money from Congress. And it's also, if it were to be a totally civilian entity, it's also illegal. And I have that somewhere too. I think it's called, we have to pull up I think it's called FACA. FACA law. Federal Advisory Committee Act became law in 1972 and is the legal foundation defining how federal advisory committees operate. The law has specific emphasis on open meetings, chartering, public involvement, and reporting. And that was what the lawsuits were about with regards to Doge's existence. Where does MTG come in? For those of you who do not know, MTG stands for Marjorie Taylor Greene, the loudmouth of the South from northwestern Georgia. Congressional psycho bitch who loves being Trump's lackey because that's all she's ever is. This is the highest thing she's ever done for him. And I suspect that this is closing that loophole or closing that gap and giving a congressional attachment by having a member of Congress on the committee. And we'll say that the Doge Master, Felon Musk, will have other things to do, quote unquote. And so she will head this committee. And as such, it will now be legit. Pathetic, though it still remains. That's my guess. And that's just, and I say that again, having seen Ken's message from earlier, from about 15 minutes ago, but I wanted to definitely come back to it. He said, and like I said, you know, I've got faith in Ken. He's not a dummy. And he's a super fan of the show. We appreciate him providing info. And I'll look into it and I'll list Ken as a source in the show notes, and I'll put another source in there too. So back to 2028, I definitely see a possibility of Liz Cheney. And in fact, Bill Clinton recently said that he believes a female president will come first from the Republicans. And that's what we call legitimizing. I have Cuban American neighbors who voted who voted for Donald Trump simply because they were voting against Kamala Harris and the fact that she's a woman. Forget about qualifications. They are irrelevant. These guys have that machismo BS that they can't have a woman in the highest office of the, if it can't be them, it's got to be another guy. However, if she's that good Christian, you know, the one that exports and kicks out Cuban Americans, whether they were born here or not, then maybe they can stomach it. And I think President Clinton has a good point with that. He didn't say all of that together, but that was part of the conversation, was sex relations and who can and who cannot handle. Are we ready? Was the question he was asked for a female president. Margaret Thatcher in the UK was a conservative. Indira Gandhi was more middle of the road, but I think she was right leaning progressive, actually. Don't hold me to that. Ken, while you're Googling, ask Google where Indira Gandhi, the late Indira Gandhi, fell on the political spectrum. If you got a minute. If not, no big deal. This is the link he sent. You can find it in USA Today. Yeah, I got to figure out how I can get. I right clicked on the. There it is. Oh, there we go. There we go. No, that's not it. Forget it. I right clicked on it, and one of the things that I right clicked on just on that comment on Ken's on Ken's link. Okay, let me see if Travis is, because they're both here. We're going to be losing America One Radio in a minute, as well as 99.1 WDJY, and I think also ZQR. Maybe they'll stay on. I don't know. If somebody goes to WZQR.FM and listens for me, I would love that. See what happens at noon. Scroll down. There are 7 channels on the website, and we are ZQR Talks. We're supposed to be on the Biz Growth Collective today, but I just got too tied up. There's too much going on, and there's so much we didn't even get to. Tomorrow, we'll be joined by, speaking of QR codes, and there goes DJY. If you heard that ping, that's when we lose a station from our one broadcasting apparatus. Trying to do too much. I need a producer. There we go. My soundboard's back to normal. Philip Blackett joins me tomorrow and every Wednesday for Translating Trump. For those of you seeing him on the screen, you can see that he's a black man. He's a very educated black man, very smart black man, very cool guy. Love the dude. Really good guy. Harvard educated, has like 6 or 7 books that he's authored. But nobody's perfect, and we love him anyway. He's a Trump supporter. And so he joins us on Wednesdays for Translating Trump. And that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. Maybe he'll be bringing some sort of sanity to all this silliness. That QR code was up there for his books. I'll leave that up for the rest of the show. And then here is buyblackett.com. When I rattled off all the affiliate sponsors, he was one of them. If you're listening, go to buyblackett.com/Yergs for all kinds of cool merch. Tomorrow, I will be using one of the coffee mugs that I bought from his site. There's 4 more in the chat. This is also for those of you watching or anywhere with social media. The YouTube associate. I think that Ken, let me know if you can see the links that get posted for Philip in the chat, because you're on Facebook, and these are both posted by my YouTube channels. Even though I have it set for restream, which should be posting it to everybody. Travis, Ken, let me know if you can see the links that coming at you through the YouTube channels for Philip Blackett, if you're still here. Speaking of still here, we are still here. If you got any questions, hit them in the chat, hit me up on the phone, or we'll wrap up. 1-888-88-YERGS. And 844-GAY-LGBT. They're both open today, both happening. They're both wide open. Kind of embarrassing, I don't mind saying. I'm actually going to have a friend call and pretend to not be a friend, just to be like a caller, to let you know that I kind of bitched at what's his name, Bad Dog, I think, was one who told me that somebody was leftist and Hitler was leftist, or actually fascism is actually on the right side of the political spectrum. Awesome. Ken sees them. Travis sees them. And speaking of seeing them, see Travis tonight on The Point with Travis Evans. Just think about a virtual barbershop with a bunch of black dudes sitting around talking common sense. The Point with Travis Evans. There it is. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. Scroll up. That's the best I can do for right now. Scroll up to maybe if I replied to it. Where is that? Oh, there. I don't know how to use this. I've been like, thanks. It might put that again in the chat. No. Bummer. All right. Well, scroll up. Yeah, Ken. Good idea. Tonight, 8 p.m. I know that if you just follow Travis G. Evans on Facebook, you can get to his actual show's page. If you don't have it, scroll up. It's up there. That's the one. So, yeah, it's a fun show. I don't. He's invited me to actually join, and I would, but I sometimes don't know if I can be there for the whole show, and that way I can just let it play in the background. And I add my 2 cents via the chat the way he does here. But one of these days I will pop in and get my hair did in the barbershop. But yeah, it's put a little note in there, Travis, if you want to let us know if you want me to let everybody know what you're going to be talking about tonight. If you get any, I saw you one post and now I'm brain farting. I don't remember what it was, but where you kind of alluded to what it's going to be. But also, don't forget, I got to play this too. Where's it at? Here we go. Like everybody over the air. Yeah, I was talking, during that because we're still on the radio. For those on the radio, it was a visual of the thumbs up, like twirling around in a video. I could probably try to cut it back to like just a couple seconds. But like, subscribe, share. Please share. Help us grow the community. Politics for the rest of us. That's up the middle. And tonight at 8 is The Point with Travis Evans. Go through my other list of you can get me. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I can get rid of this one. There's an old thing in there. Here's the guys from Friday. Matt Deemer is available by Matt at dailycryptonews.net and info at deemerforcongress.com. Blake Fisher, the homeless conservative, is available at Blake at thehomelessconservative.com. Jane Stahl, my Monday co-host, is available by going to the art show or the art studio website, studiobbb.org. You know what I also need to put on there? I need to switch that around, put her on the bottom and put that thing on the top, and also put the, it's a longer one, but she is a co-editor-in-chief with another English teacher that I had in high school, Leslie Misko, of an online news journal for our hometown in Boyertown. You can reach both of them that way as well. You can get us all by emailing news, NEWZ, at yergz, YERGZ.com. And my website is yergz.com. And you can get all the links. Both of these have been, yergz.com has been down. It's back up. It's a new version. We're tweaking it. Shout out to Joe, who is from Build a Space. The company is called Build a Space. The website, like mastiff.media, is build a dot space. So again, the name is incorporated into the URL. Similar with one of our British affiliate that plays us on replay today. That was earlier this morning. And then our live show on Fridays. I'm trying to convince him to do us 5 days a week, but he's got plenty of other shows. He doesn't need it. Martin at theug.media, like mastiff.media. He's the UG, like underground.media. And we're on the XL channel there Fridays. But there's more than just .com, point being. Let's take one more look at the chats. Who's Travis got another one. What's that one? Is that the one you did earlier? Is that your? I don't know. Oh, there. I see something in his text from earlier. Put that back up. Trapdoor Media Group is something else that you can search on in the groups on Facebook. Trapdoor Media Group in the groups on Facebook tonight at 8. Definitely check that out. Become a super fan there as well. All right, gang. I think we found everything. We didn't talk about everything, but we're pushing 10 after 12, and I got a house to rebuild. I don't know if you can see. There's still lots of construction back there and all over. And yeah, so I got probably a lot of news to follow. I feel like you get that feeling that you got to go check on the kids. That's what we've got for the next 3 years and 364 days. All right, everybody. Thank you. I will see you again tomorrow, 11 a.m. for 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific for Up the Middle, translating Trump. Philip Blackett will be in. Till then, hit me up. If not, thanks for getting off the porch and running with the big dogs straight up the middle. See you tomorrow. That's an overlay, not music. Dope.